few weeks ago, we saw the introduction of one of the most hyped shoes of the year. The ASICS Megablast. If you see my review, you'll know just how much I absolutely loved this shoe, and judging by some of the comments on that video, a lot of you guys have too. At the same time, they also dropped this, the ASICS Sonicblast, a new plated speed shoe designed for those faster runs. It's sliding into a fiercely competitive sector of the shoe market right now, with the likes of the Nike ZoomFly version 6 and ASICS' very own Magic Speed version 4. So we're going to be seeing how this shoe stacks up against those in this full review, so you can make sure you're getting the right shoe on your feet. And as always, before we start the video, I bought this shoe 100% with my own money, so I can give you my completely honest, impartial, unsponsored, ungifted, and everything review. Right, let's get stuck into the facts and figures. Starting out with the purpose of the Sonicblast. This is your max stack tempo speed shoe designed for those slightly longer efforts, so those steady paces, marathon paces, tempo pace type runs, and potentially a bit more of an economical race day option out there for people that are favouring more of a Pebax plastic plate rather than that full-on super stiff carbon plate. Price-wise, this shoe set me back £170. Stack height at the back of the shoe 46mm with an 8mm drop overall. Weight-wise, not too bad, coming in for me at 301 grams. Anything below 300 is pretty good for my size. Moving on to have a chat about the upper in the shoe. Really like this upper. We've got this lovely engineered mesh upper, good amount of airflow into the shoe. It's a real standout of the shoe. And how good do our all new Getting It Done running socks look here on screen? We've launched these recently. They've gone down so well, so many 5-star reviews. Thank you to everyone that's bought them and supported the channel so we can do what we do. If you need some new running socks, we really obviously recommend these. They're absolutely fantastic. £25 for a set of 3 socks delivered here in the UK for free as well. Feel free to also use code YouTube10 for 10% off your order. Everything's linked down below. Midsole wise, we've got 2 different foams here. On top, we've got ASICS' all new FF Turbo Squared, which is their new ATPU super foam, creating that bounce and soft cushioning. Exactly the same foam that we saw in the Megablast. And then just below that, we've got a layer of the FF Blast Max, offering some extra stability in there and some durability as well. This is the same foam that's in ASICS' Novablast version 5, their sort of classic do-it-all daily shoe. There's a lightweight plate in this shoe, which ASICS are calling an Astro plate. It's a Pebax plate, which just helps with that speed and that propulsion, but it's also adding a lot of stability in the shoe as well, because of the massive stack height this shoe is offering. On the bottom of the shoe, we've got ASICS Grip outsole, which is very grippy. I haven't been able to run in this shoe in the rain so far, but ASICS Grip recently has been very good. There are unfortunately no different widths available in this shoe. Sizing wise, I got the same size I get in all of my ASICS shoes, which is an 11.5. It's the same as the Superblast, the Novablast, the Megablast as well. This one was slightly long, but I still recommend it just your regular size. Right, let's get stuck into my likes, but before we do, we're getting very close to 300k subscribers here on the channel. So if you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button. We'd really massively appreciate it. Right, let's get stuck in to the likes. My first like with the shoe, it's very comfortable straight out the box. Upper works really well. Good breathability through this upper. Nice lightweight tongue, but with that gusset, just holding everything in place really quite nicely. The heel cup isn't overly padded, which you'd kind of expect with this more lighter weight type of shoe. Didn't give me any issues. My second like with the shoe, it's very, very stable, especially when you do pick up the pace and run a little bit faster. There's certainly a lot of inspiration from the Novablast, ASICS' all-around daily shoe, and I've always really loved how smooth that Novablast is compared to some of the competitors in the market, and that certainly is running true with the Sonicblast here. It's just very, very stable. There's absolutely no fear at all of rolling an ankle in the shoe that can sometimes easily happen in a lot of the max stack height shoes, which is sort of the category this one is in. It's just really nice to cruise along at. I wouldn't necessarily call it a fast shoe, but it's certainly happy cruising along at sort of 10k half marathon pace, and really helps you sort of stick at that pace. My third like with the shoe, it's going to be a good option for some heavier runners out there. Given the amount of stack in the shoe and the firmness on offer here, they're going to be able to extract the most out of the midsole. Also a really nice option for heel strikers as well, getting a very good smooth transition through the foot strike. And my fourth and final like here, I think it's just a really well built shoe, really good build quality, and I think it's quite a nice, good looking shoe as well. Right, as we always say here on the channel, it's not all about the likes. Let's have a chat about the dislikes. The first one being out the box, it's certainly a much firmer ride than you might be expecting, given the foam similarities between this and the Megablast, which is really very much on the soft side. Adding in that plate and the FF Blast Max has really firmed things up quite a lot. With so many runners out there preferring a softer, bouncier ride these days versus a sort of more firmer, stiffer option, I feel some people will be put off this shoe for that reason. It's also got quite an aggressive, rigid rocker at the front of the shoe just to add to that overall stiffness. Second dislike here, it's certainly a little bit clunky at those slower paces, which when comparing it to the Megablast, that is really very good at those slower paces. Adding in a plate to the shoe has just made those transitions around easy pace just a little bit more laboured, so you're really going to need to pair this with a daily shoe option to get those easy paces into your overall training. And really, it's not fast enough to be a full-on race shoe in my experience, so at best this is a third shoe in a 3-shoe rotation, which kind of leads me on to point 3. It's just a bit of a confusing offering here. It kind of sits between the Megablast and the Magic Speed. It's slightly more poppy than the Megablast, but definitely not as fast as the Magic Speed. Quite expensive for what it is, and it's really a bit of a niche shoe as well. It's not the sort of shoe you're going to be running those easy jogs in. It's just for that occasional tempo run, and kind of the Megablast handles that completely fine really for a lot of people. And obviously so does the Magic Speed as well. And both of those shoes are cheaper than the Sonicblast. So let's have a chat about this compared to the Megablast, which is just down here. These are two very, very different shoes. The Megablast is your max stack super shoe, non-plated, ideal for those longer runs, those long run sessions. It's a very versatile shoe as well, and much, much lighter, significantly lighter, just sitting here handling these two shoes. It's much softer, it's bouncier, it's a hell of a lot more fun to run in as well, and it's definitely a contender for that running shoe of the year. However, it is £40 more expensive than the Sonicblast. The Sonicblast, quite niche in comparison, aimed at a very specific type of up-tempo run. And then comparing it to this, which is ASICS' very own Magic Speed 4. Now you may well be thinking, why have ASICS introduced this into the range when they've also got this, and they really are quite similar, but they do have some slightly different use cases. The Magic Speed has that carbon plate in there. It's going to feel a lot better on those much faster paces. So your 5k pace, 10k pace, intervals, thresholds, this is where this shoe is really shining in at the ASICS range. Whereas the Sonicblast with that P-Bax plate, that plastic plate, is just going to feel a little bit better on those slightly longer efforts, 20-minute tempos, steady runs, where you can just sort of lock into a pace and forget about it. The Magic Speed, a little bit more performance orientated, slightly lighter, but definitely a little bit less stable as well, and also £10 cheaper. It's going to be interesting to see what ASICS, and maybe if they do at all, develop a version 5 of the Magic Speed, or whether the Sonicblast will sort of be replacing this and they'll sort of tweak it for Sonicblast version 2. We'll see. And then finally comparing it to the ZoomFly version 6, for me this is probably the best shoe in this segment. It's a shoe I recommend here on the channel all the time, but how does it compare to this, the Sonicblast? They're both definitely aimed at those more tempo efforts, but for me the ZoomFly has just a bit more versatility. It can do that 5k and 10k stuff, which is great, but it can also do those longer, more sustained efforts, those long run sessions. The ride definitely feels softer, a lot bouncier, and I think most people are going to prefer that more engaging, softer, bouncier type ride. It's just a lot more fun to run in that shoe. It's definitely a tiny bit heavier, but it is also £15 cheaper as well. Sonicblast, a lot firmer. It definitely feels a lot more stable though than the ZoomFly version 6. So moving on to my final thoughts on this shoe, it's definitely a bit of an odd one. If you're the type of person that likes having a big shoe rotation with very niche specific shoes for different types of runs, then certainly have a look at this shoe. It's going to be good for those tempo sessions, those steady, those marathon pace blocks. If you tried the ZoomFly, maybe found it a little bit too unstable, a little bit too soft, then definitely have a look at this, which is going to give you that more traditional ride. If you're a heel striker or a heavier runner, you might also enjoy it, but really overall I think it's going to be a bit of a tough sell, especially at this price point in the mass market. ASICS has had some really big hits recently, but this one, for me, it's just a bit niche, and I think it's definitely been very overshadowed by the Megablast launch, and everybody's saying, should I get that or this? And they really are quite different shoes, but for a lot of people, they're going Megablast, and I don't blame them for that at all. It is a fantastic shoe. For a more versatile daily trainer, I'd recommend having a look at the Megablast as well. And if you want a more dedicated speed shoe, look at the Magic Speed 6. If you do want to stick in the ASICS range, or even potentially go to Nike and try the ZoomFly version 6. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Have you got the shoe? Are you going to get the shoe? Do you think it's been a hit? Do you think it's a miss? It'd be great to catch up down there. Please hit that subscribe button and help us reach that 300k. That would be absolutely amazing. That's it, guys. Keep on working hard. Keep on working done. We'll see you very soon in the next one.